The dinner rush at the Sterling Crown was in full swing, and Olivia Bennett moved between tables with practiced efficiency. At 27, she'd mastered the art of reading her customers. The impatient businessman who needed his check 5 minutes ago, the anniversary couple who wanted to linger over dessert, the tourists who'd ask endless questions. But the man at table 12 was different. He'd been sitting there for 40 minutes, barely touching his steak, eyes constantly darting toward the entrance. Marcus Blackwood. Everyone knew who he was. Tech billionaire, 35 years old, worth $8 billion according to Forbes. He usually came with an entourage, but tonight he was alone. Well, almost alone. His son, a quiet 8-year-old named David, sat across from him, coloring on a kid's menu with intense concentration. The boy had his father's dark eyes and serious expression, but there was something fragile about him that made Olivia's protective instincts flare. "Can I get you anything else, Mr. Blackwood?" Olivia approached with her warmest smile, though her intuition screamed something was wrong. "No, thank you. We're fine." Marcus's voice was tight, controlled. He checked his phone again, hand trembling slightly. That's when she saw them. 2 men in cheap suits entered, through the side entrance, the one locked after 6. One kept his hand near his jacket, in a way that made Olivia's blood run cold. They scanned the restaurant, and when their eyes locked on table 12, Olivia knew with absolute certainty that something very bad was about to happen. The men walked toward Marcus and David. Olivia had maybe 30 seconds. Her manager was in back. Security was on break. The kitchen wouldn't hear her scream over dinner noise. She was alone. Without thinking, Olivia grabbed a tray of water glasses and stepped into the men's path. With Oscar-worthy clumsiness, she tripped over nothing. The tray went flying. Water, ice, and glasses crashed onto both men, soaking them completely. Every head turned. Olivia fell hard, pain shooting through her knees. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She scrambled up, making a huge production of mopping water with her apron. "Are you okay? Come to the kitchen, we'll dry you off." The men's faces were murderous, but everyone was watching. In that moment, Olivia caught Marcus's eye. He understood. She nodded toward the back exit. "Marcus Blackwood?" One soaked man said loudly. "We need to speak about your son. We're from social services. There's been a complaint about the child's welfare." Olivia's heart hammered. Social services didn't show up at restaurants wearing suspicious bulges under their jackets. "My attorney handles such matters," Marcus said smoothly, standing with David's hand in his. "Give me your cards." He was backing away slowly. The first man stepped forward. "We need to speak now." Olivia made her second split-second decision. She looked at the nearest table and said loudly, "Sir, are you a doctor? This man's having chest pains." Pandemonium erupted. The father jumped up. Diners turned, concerned. Someone shouted about 911. In the beautiful chaos, Marcus and David disappeared through the kitchen. One man grabbed Olivia's arm, grip bruising. "Where did they go?" "Who?" "The man with chest pains?" His eyes narrowed. "You just made a very big mistake, sweetheart." Then they were gone, rushing toward the back. Olivia stood soaking wet, knees throbbing, wondering what she'd gotten into. Her phone buzzed. "Unknown number, thank you. You saved his life, stay safe." Olivia's hands shook as reality hit. This wasn't over. Olivia's shift ended at 11 p.m., but she left at 10:45, her manager's angry words ringing in her ears. The incident had caused 3 tables to walk out without paying. That was coming out of her tips, apparently. Worth it, she thought, rubbing her bruised arm. The parking lot behind the Sterling Crown was poorly lit, just 4 flickering street lamps casting long shadows. Olivia's beat-up Honda sat in the far corner where employees parked. She walked quickly, keys in hand, sharp end protruding between her fingers like her self-defense class taught. The October air was cold. She'd forgotten her jacket inside. Going back wasn't an option. Halfway to her car, she heard footsteps. Olivia spun around. The lot appeared empty, but every instinct screamed she wasn't alone. She picked up her pace, practically jogging, shoes slapping against asphalt. "Miss Bennett," the voice came from her left. Olivia yelped and jumped back. A man stepped from behind a black SUV. Not one of the restaurant men. This one was different. Older, maybe 50, wearing an expensive suit that fit. His face was kind, grandfatherly, but his eyes were sharp. I apologize for startling you, he said, hands visible and empty. My name is Robert Torres. I work for Marcus Blackwood. I don't know what you're talking about. You saved David's life. Tonight, Mr. Blackwood wanted me to ensure you got home safely. Robert gestured toward the SUV. May I offer you a ride? Your car will be delivered tomorrow, fully serviced. I'm not getting in a car with a stranger. Smart woman. Robert smiled slightly. Then allow me to follow you home. Those men from the restaurant, they work for David's maternal grandfather, Richard Castellano. He's been trying to gain custody since his daughter died 2 years ago. Mr. Castellano doesn't accept no for an answer, and he doesn't forget faces. Olivia's blood ran cold. Are you saying I'm in danger? I'm saying what you did tonight was incredibly brave and incredibly foolish. You interfered with a kidnapping attempt orchestrated by one of the most vindictive men on the East Coast. Yes, Miss Bennett, you're in danger. Her legs felt weak. I just saw a kid in trouble. I know. That's why Mr. Blackwood wants to help. Robert held out a business card. My personal number. Call any time, day or night. Mr. Blackwood has arranged security to watch your building tonight. I can't afford. It's handled. Consider it a thank you. Robert scanned the lot with professional efficiency. Those men will be looking for you. They'll want to know what you know, who you told, how much trouble you might cause. Please be careful. Lock your doors. Don't open them for anyone you don't know. Call me if anything seems wrong. Olivia took the card with trembling fingers. What about the police? Mr. Blackwood filed a report. But Castellano has friends everywhere, including law enforcement. The police can't protect you the way we can. Robert nodded toward her car. Go home, get rest. And Miss Bennett, thank you. David asks about you constantly. You're his hero. Before Olivia could respond, Robert walked to the SUV and drove away, leaving her alone. Except she didn't feel alone. She felt watched. Olivia ran to her car, fumbling with keys, finally getting in. She locked immediately, started the engine with shaking hands, and drove home checking her mirror every 10 seconds. Her apartment was in a converted house in a decent neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but safe enough, usually. Tonight, even the familiar sight didn't calm her nerves. She parked, grabbed her purse, and hurried to her first-floor unit. The hallway light was out again. Olivia fumbled with her key, got it in the lock, pushed inside. She secured the deadbolt, the chain, and leaned against the door, breathing hard. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number, different from before. We know where you live, Waitress. Stay quiet and maybe we'll forget about you. Talk to the cops again and you'll regret it. The phone slipped from Olivia's hands and clattered to the floor. Olivia didn't sleep that night. She sat on her couch with every light in the apartment blazing. A kitchen knife on the coffee table, and Robert Torres's card clutched in her hand. Every sound made her jump. The neighbor's TV, footsteps in the hallway, the old building settling. At 3 a.m., she finally called the number on the card. Robert answered on the first ring. Miss Bennett. What's wrong? They texted me. Her voice cracked. They know where I live. They threatened me. Forward me the message immediately. Don't respond to it. Don't delete it. His voice was calm, professional. Are your doors locked? Yes, all of them. Good. There's a security team outside your building. You're safe. I'm sending someone to get you. What? No, I can't just leave. Miss Bennett, those men attempted kidnapping tonight. Threatening witnesses is nothing to them. Mr. Blackwood insists you stay somewhere secure until we resolve this situation. I have work tomorrow. I have bills. I can't just disappear. Your rent is paid through next year. Your manager received a call explaining you're taking emergency leave. Everything is handled. Robert's tone left no room for argument. A car will arrive in 20 minutes. Pack a bag. Essentials only. The line went dead. Olivia stared at her phone, mind reeling. Yesterday she was a waitress worried about tips. Today she was being relocated by a Billionaire's security team because she'd stopped a kidnapping. Part of her wanted to refuse to pretend this wasn't happening. But the threatening text made the danger very real. She packed quickly. Clothes, toiletries, her laptop, chargers. She was zipping her bag when her phone rang. Her mother, Olivia. Why is your rent paid? I just got a call from your landlord asking if you were okay. What's going on? Mom, I can't explain right now. I'm fine. I'll call you tomorrow. Olivia Rose Bennett, you tell me what's happening right now. I helped someone, and now I need to lay low for a few days. That's all. I promise I'm safe. Her mother's voice rose. Helped someone lay low? Are you in trouble with the police? No, the opposite. I did something good and someone's thanking me. But it's complicated. Please trust me. The doorbell rang. Olivia's heart stopped. Someone's at my door. I have to go. I love you. She hung up before her mother could protest and crept to the peephole. A woman stood in the hallway, professional looking, wearing black tactical clothing. She held up an ID badge. Miss Bennett? I'm Agent Lin Chen, private security. Mr. Torres sent me. Olivia checked the card Robert had given her, then dialed his number on speaker. Robert, there's a woman at my door claiming you sent her. 5'6", Asian, short black hair, scar above her left eyebrow. Olivia looked through the peephole again. Yes? That's Lin Chen, let her in. Olivia opened the door with the chain still attached. Lin held up her badge again, along with a photo on her phone, clearly taken moments ago, showing Lin standing in Olivia's hallway. Real-time verification, Lin explained. May I come in? Olivia let her in, hands shaking. Lin did a quick sweep of the apartment, checking windows and closets with practiced efficiency. All clear. Vehicles waiting downstairs. We should move now. Lin picked up Olivia's bag. Ready? Where are we going? Mr. Blackwood's estate in Connecticut. 40-minute drive. You'll have your own guest house, full security, anything you need. This is crazy. I barely know these people. Lin's expression softened slightly. You saved a little boy's life. Marcus Blackwood doesn't forget that kind of courage. He protects his own, and right now that includes you. Olivia grabbed her purse and followed Lin into the hallway. The building was silent, everyone asleep. A black sedan waited at the curb, engine running. As they drove through empty streets, Olivia watched her apartment building disappear in the side mirror. Her normal life, her boring, predictable, safe life was gone. She didn't know if she'd ever get it back. Lin handed her a bottle of water. Try to rest. You're safe now. But Olivia couldn't rest. She kept thinking about David's frightened face, Marcus's grateful eyes, and the threatening text burning in her phone. What had she gotten herself into? The car turned onto a highway heading north. Olivia leaned her head against the window and watched the city lights fade into darkness. Whatever came next, there was no turning back now. The Blackwood estate appeared suddenly beyond a wall of trees, lit up like something from a movie. Olivia had seen wealth before. The sterling crown catered to Manhattan's elite, but this was different. The main house sprawled across manicured grounds, all glass and modern angles, with subtle lighting that made it glow against the night sky. Lin drove past the main house to a smaller structure nestled among oak trees. Your guest house. 2 bedrooms, full kitchen, everything you need. Main house is a 5-minute walk. The guest house was bigger than Olivia's entire apartment. Floor-to-ceiling windows, hardwood floors, furniture that probably cost more than her car. Lin did another security sweep while Olivia stood in the entryway, feeling completely out of place. All clear. I'll be in the security office. Press 9 on any phone and you'll reach us directly. Lin handed her a key card. This opens everything you have access to. Don't wander the grounds alone at night. Security might not recognize you yet. Then she was gone, and Olivia was alone in a house that cost more per month than she made in a year. She collapsed onto the leather couch, exhaustion finally hitting her. Her phone showed 4:30 a.m. In a few hours, she'd normally be waking up for a morning shift. Instead, she was hiding in a billionaire's guest house from men who threatened to hurt her. Sleep came in fits and starts, haunted by images of those men in cheap suits and David's frightened face. Morning arrived with autumn sunlight streaming through windows she'd forgotten to cover. Olivia woke disoriented, taking several seconds to remember where she was. Her phone showed 9:15 and 12 missed calls from her mother. Before she could call back, someone knocked on the door. Olivia froze. Lin said she was safe here, but every knock now sent her heart racing. Miss Bennett? It's Robert Torres. I have breakfast. Olivia opened the door to find Robert holding a covered tray, looking far too cheerful for someone who'd been awake at 3 a.m. Good morning. I thought you might be hungry. He set the tray on the kitchen counter, revealing fresh pastries, fruit, coffee, and orange juice. Mr. Blackwood would like to speak with you when you're ready. No rush. About what happened? About ensuring your safety, yes. And about thanking you properly. Robert's expression turned serious. Miss Bennett, what you did last night, most people would have looked away. You didn't? That means something to Marcus. I just did what anyone would do. No, you did what almost no one would do. Robert gestured to the tray. Eat, shower, take your time. Press 1 on the house phone when you're ready, and someone will escort you to the main house. After he left, Olivia ate mechanically, tasting nothing. The coffee helped wake her up, and the hot shower helped even more. She dressed in jeans and a sweater, the nicest casual clothes she'd packed, and stared at the house phone for a full minute before picking it up. She pressed 1. Good morning, Miss Bennett, a pleasant voice answered. I'll send someone right over. 5 minutes later, a young man in a security uniform arrived to walk her to the main house. The morning was beautiful, crisp and clear, but Olivia barely noticed. Her stomach was in knots. The main house was even more impressive inside. Minimalist design, expensive art, walls of windows overlooking gardens that probably required a full-time staff. The security guard led her to a study where Marcus Blackwood stood looking out at his property, David sitting at a desk nearby, working on what looked like homework. Marcus turned when she entered, in daylight, without the fear and tension from the restaurant. Olivia could see why business magazines called him one of the most eligible bachelors in America. Tall, dark hair with hints of silver at the temples, sharp features softened by genuine warmth in his eyes. But what struck her most was the relief in those eyes when he saw her. Miss Bennett, thank you for coming. He gestured to a seating area. Please sit. Can I get you anything? Answers would be nice. Olivia sat, trying to project confidence she didn't feel. Your security team says I'm in danger, that my rent is paid, that I should just hide here. I need to understand what's happening. You're right. You deserve the truth. Marcus sat across from her, leaning forward with his hands clasped. David's grandfather, Richard Castellano, has been trying to take custody since my wife died. He believes I'm an unfit father because I work too much. Last night was his 3rd kidnapping attempt. Olivia's eyes widened. 3rd? The first 2 failed because I had security. Last night I thought dinner at a public restaurant would be safe. I was wrong. Marcus's jaw tightened. You saved my son, Miss Bennett. And now Castellano knows your face. Olivia's mouth went dry. So what happens now? I hide here forever? No. We handle this legally and permanently. Marcus pulled out a tablet and slid it across the coffee table. Richard Castellano has connections, but he's not untouchable. My legal team is filing for a restraining order and full custody protection. We're also pursuing charges against the men who attempted the kidnapping. Olivia scrolled through the documents. Legal jargon she barely understood, but certain phrases jumped out. Witness protection, relocation assistance, financial compensation. Wait, what's this about relocation? If you want it. New city, new identity, new start. Completely funded. Marcus's voice was calm. Or if you prefer to stay in New York, I can provide permanent security and housing. Your choice. You can't just rearrange my entire life. I'm offering options because your life is already rearranged. Those men threatened you. They know where you work, where you live, probably where your mother lives. Marcus's expression softened. I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to protect you from the consequences of your own bravery. Olivia set down the tablet, hands shaking. This is insane, Miss Olivia? She turned to see David standing beside the couch, clutching a drawing. His dark eyes were serious, concerned. I made this for you. He held out the paper shyly. Olivia took it, throat tightening. The drawing showed a stick figure with long hair, presumably her, standing between 2 others. A shield was drawn around all 3. At the top, in careful child's handwriting, "Thank you for saving us." It's beautiful. David, thank you. Olivia's voice cracked. Dad says you're a hero. David looked up at his father, then back to her. Are you going to stay? We have a pool and a game room, and Dad says you can have anything you want. Marcus placed a gentle hand on his son's shoulder. David, why don't you finish your math homework? Miss Bennett and I need to talk. After David left reluctantly, Marcus sighed. He hasn't opened up to anyone since his mother died. Last night, in the car home, he wouldn't stop talking about the brave waitress who saved him. You gave him something I haven't been able to, a reason to trust the world again. Olivia wiped her eyes quickly. He's a sweet kid. He's everything to me. Which is why I'm asking you to consider staying here, at least temporarily. Marcus stood and walked to the window. Not as a prisoner, but as a guest. Take time to figure out what you want. My legal team needs your testimony anyway. Trial preparation could take weeks. I can't just live off your charity. Why, it's not charity. And if it makes you feel better, I could use your help. Marcus turned back to her. David's nanny quit last month. Too much pressure from the custody battle. His tutor comes 3 times a week, but he needs someone else around. Someone normal. Someone kind. Someone who'd risk everything to protect a stranger's child. Olivia's mind raced. You want me to be his nanny? I'm offering you a job. $70,000 a year plus room and board? You'd spend time with David when I'm working. Make sure he eats, does homework, doesn't spend all day on video games. Be the normal presence in his life that I can't always provide. Marcus's expression was earnest. You'd have your own space, your own time. Freedom to leave whenever you want. But you'd be safe here and David would have someone he already trusts. I'm a waitress. I don't have childcare training. You have something better, instinct. You saw danger and acted without hesitation. Marcus stepped closer. I'm not looking for credentials. I'm looking for someone with a good heart. Olivia walked to the window, needing to think. Yesterday, her biggest concern was making rent. Now she was being offered a job by a billionaire, a salary she'd never dreamed of, and safety from men who wanted to hurt her. Can I think about it? Take all the time you need. Marcus moved toward the door, then paused. Olivia, whatever you decide, I'll make sure you're safe. You saved my son's life. Don't forget debts like that. Olivia spent the rest of the day exploring the estate grounds with a security guard trailing discreetly behind her. The property was massive. Tennis courts, a pristine pool, gardens that looked professionally maintained, even a small orchard. It was beautiful, peaceful, and completely surreal. By evening, she'd made her decision. She found Marcus in his home office, working on 3 computer monitors simultaneously. He looked up when she knocked, immediately closing his laptop. Olivia, have you decided? I'll take the job. The words came out stronger than she felt. But I have conditions. Marcus leaned back in his chair, a slight smile on his face. I'm listening. First, I want to finish my associate's degree. I was taking night classes before all this happened. I need to continue. Done. I'll arrange for online classes or private tutoring, whichever you prefer. Second, my mother. She lives in Queens and she's probably losing her mind right now. I need to see her, explain what's happening. We'll arrange a secure meeting. Tomorrow if you'd like. Marcus made a note on his phone. What else? Third, this is temporary. 6 months, maybe a year. I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I'm not looking to become dependent on your wealth. When this custody situation is resolved and I'm safe, I want to go back to my own life. Marcus's expression shifted, something unreadable crossing his features. Understood. Though I hope you'll reconsider the timeline once you see how much David needs you. There's one more thing. Olivia met his eyes directly. I need the truth, all of it. Who is Richard Castellano, really? Why does he want David so badly? And what aren't you telling me about your wife's death? The silence stretched between them. Marcus stood and walked to the window, his back to her. My wife, Elena, was Richard's only daughter. He's old money, real estate, shipping, connections going back generations. When Elena married me, he was furious. I was new money, tech industry, no family pedigree. He thought she was throwing her life away. Marcus's voice was tight, controlled. When she died in a car accident 2 years ago, Richard blamed me. Said I worked too much, wasn't there for her, drove her to be reckless. He's been trying to take David ever since, claiming I'm an unfit father just like I was an unfit husband. Was he right? About you working too much? Marcus turned and Olivia saw raw pain in his eyes. Yes, I was building the company, taking meetings at all hours, traveling constantly. Elena begged me to slow down. I promised I would. After the next acquisition, the next product launch, the next board meeting. I kept promising and she kept waiting. His voice cracked. She was driving home from her sister's house when a drunk driver crossed the median. I was in Singapore closing a deal. I wasn't there when she needed me, and I wasn't there when she died. Olivia's heart ached for him. That doesn't make you a bad father, doesn't it? I made the same promises to David that I made to Elena. I'd be home for dinner, for his school play, for his soccer games. And I kept breaking those promises too. Marcus ran a hand through his hair. Richard's not entirely wrong about me, but he's not taking my son. David is all I have left of Elena, and I won't fail him again. Is that why you're really hiring me? So David has someone who will actually be there? Partially. Marcus returned to his desk, pulled out a folder, and handed it to Olivia. But there's something else you should know. Richard Castellano isn't just trying to win custody through legal means. He's dangerous. Olivia opened the folder. Inside were police reports, incident reports, private investigator findings. Her blood ran cold as she read. He's been accused of witness intimidation in 3 separate cases. All charges dropped due to lack of evidence. She looked up at Marcus. You think he'll come after me again? I know he will. Which is why I need you here, where my security can protect you. Marcus's expression was deadly serious. Richard doesn't just want David. He wants to destroy me. And now that you're connected to us, you're a target too. Olivia closed the folder, processing everything. You should have told me this before. Would you have stayed if I had? She thought about David's drawing, his shy smile, the hope in his eyes. Yes, I would have. Then we understand each other. Marcus extended his hand. Welcome to the team, Olivia Bennett. I promise I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe. Olivia shook his hand, feeling the warmth and strength of his grip. And I promise I'll do everything in my power to help David feel like a normal kid again. As she left his office, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just signed up for something far more complicated than a nanny position. The next morning, Olivia met her mother at a cafe in Westchester, 30 minutes from the estate. Robert had chosen the location carefully, public enough to seem normal, private enough for serious conversation, with security positioned at every exit. Her mother arrived 10 minutes early, as always. Patricia Bennett was 53, a retired nurse with sharp eyes that missed nothing. She spotted Olivia immediately and rushed over, pulling her into a fierce hug. Olivia Rose Bennett, you have exactly 5 minutes to explain what the hell is going on before I lose my mind completely. They sat at a corner table. Olivia had rehearsed this conversation a dozen times, but now that her mother was actually here, the words stuck in her throat. Mom, I need you to listen without interrupting. Can you do that? Patricia's eyes narrowed, but she nodded. Olivia told her everything. The restaurant, the men in suits, the kidnapping attempt. Marcus Blackwood, David, Richard Castellano, the threats. Her mother's face went through a dozen expressions: shock, fear, anger, disbelief. When Olivia finished, Patricia sat in silence for a full minute. You're living with a billionaire. I'm working for him, as David's nanny. A billionaire whose son was almost kidnapped by the boy's own grandfather, and now you're caught in the middle of some custody war with dangerous people. Patricia's voice rose. Olivia, this is insane. You need to go to the police, get actual protection, not hide in some rich man's mansion. The police can't help. Castellano has connections everywhere. Marcus has the resources to keep me safe, or the resources to keep you controlled. Patricia leaned forward, gripping Olivia's hand. Sweetheart, I know you think you're helping this little boy, but you barely know these people. What if this Marcus Blackwood isn't who he says he is? What if you're trading one danger for another? Olivia had considered this during the long, sleepless hours. Mom, I saw the fear in that child's eyes. I saw how those men moved, how they looked at him. This wasn't some custody dispute, it was a kidnapping. And Marcus. He's grateful, yes, but he's also desperate. He's trying to protect his son, and I got caught in the crossfire. So leave. Walk away. This isn't your fight. They threatened me, Mom. They know where I live, where I work. Walking away doesn't make me safe. It makes me vulnerable. Olivia squeezed her mother's hand. At least at the estate, I have security, resources, a chance to testify and put these men away. And I'm getting paid well enough to finish my degree and actually build a future. Patricia's eyes filled with tears. I almost lost you once when you were 17 and that drunk driver hit your car. I can't go through that again. These people sound dangerous, Olivia. They are dangerous, which is why I need to stay where I'm protected. Olivia pulled out a card Robert had given her. This is the head of security. His number. Call him any time, day or night, if you're worried or if anything strange happens. They're watching your apartment, too, making sure you're safe. Watching my apartment? Olivia, Mom, please, I need you to trust me. I'm 27 years old. I'm not a kid anymore. I made a choice to help a little boy, and I'm making another choice now to see this through safely. Olivia's voice was firm. I'm asking you to support me, not fight me. Patricia wiped her eyes, then pulled Olivia into another hug. You're just like your father, too brave for your own good, too stubborn to listen to reason. I learned from the best. They talked for another hour. Olivia showed her mother photos of the estate on her phone, told her about David's sweet personality, carefully edited the more frightening details about Castellano. By the time they left, Patricia wasn't happy, but she was accepting. Call me every day, every single day, Olivia. I promise. As Olivia rode back to the estate with Robert, she felt lighter, one difficult conversation down. But that evening, everything changed. She was reading in the guest house when her phone buzzed. Marcus. Olivia, can you come to the main house? We need to talk. It's urgent. Olivia found Marcus in his study, pacing like a caged animal. Robert Torres stood by the window, his normally calm expression replaced with tension. Both men looked up when she entered. What's wrong? Olivia's stomach dropped. Is David okay? David's fine. He's asleep upstairs. Marcus gestured to a chair. Sit down, please. Olivia sat, her heart hammering. Then what's this about? Marcus exchanged a look with Robert before sitting across from her. Richard Castellano made his move. He filed an emergency custody petition this afternoon, claiming I'm keeping David in an unsafe environment. What? How is your estate unsafe? Because you're here. Robert's voice was flat. He's arguing that Marcus hired an untrained, unvetted stranger with no background in childcare to live on the property with his grandson. He's claiming it shows reckless judgment and disregard for David's safety. Olivia's face went hot. That's ridiculous. I'm here because I protected David. We know that. The judge will know that. Marcus leaned forward, elbows on his knees. But Castellano is smart. He's painting you as a liability. A waitress with no credentials who got caught up in a dangerous situation and is now being compensated with money and housing. He's making it look like I'm paying you off to keep quiet about something. Keep quiet about what? There's nothing to hide. There doesn't need to be. He just needs to create doubt. Robert pulled out his tablet and showed Olivia a document. He's also filed a motion to depose you. You'll have to testify under oath about everything that happened at the restaurant, your current living arrangements, your relationship with Marcus and David. Olivia's hands trembled as she read the legal filing. The language was clinical, cold, but the implication was clear. She was being portrayed as either a gold digger or an opportunist, possibly both. When is this deposition? 3 days from now. Marcus stood and walked to the window. Olivia, I need to be honest with you. This is going to get ugly. Castellano's attorneys will try to tear apart your character, your motivations, everything. They'll dig into your past, interview your friends, probably contact your ex-boyfriends if you have any. I have nothing to hide. Everyone has something. Robert's tone was gentle but firm. An unpaid parking ticket, a social media post that could be taken out of context, a friend who'll say the wrong thing to a reporter. Castellano will find it and use it. Olivia felt sick. So what do I do? You have 2 options. Marcus turned back to face her. 1, you leave, tonight. We'll arrange new housing, give you a severance package, and my legal team will try to keep you out of the deposition. It might work. And option 2, you stay and fight. You testify, tell the truth, and help us prove that Castellano is the real danger here. Marcus's eyes were intense. But if you choose that, Olivia, there's no going back. You'll be dragged through the mud publicly. Your name will be in the papers. Your life will be examined under a microscope." The room fell silent. Olivia looked at both men, then down at her hands. She thought about David's drawing, still hanging on her refrigerator in the guest house. She thought about his shy smile when she'd read him a bedtime story. She thought about the fear in his eyes at the restaurant. "If I leave, what happens to David?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "We keep fighting. But without your testimony about what happened at the restaurant, it becomes he said, she said. Those men will claim they were legitimate investigators. Castellano will claim I'm paranoid and unstable. He could win custody." "He could win custody," Marcus confirmed quietly. Olivia stood up, her decision made. "Then I'm staying. I'm testifying. I'm telling the truth about what I saw and what happened." She met Marcus's eyes. "That little boy needs protection, and if my reputation is the price for keeping him safe, then that's what I'll pay." Relief flooded Marcus's face. "Thank you. You have no idea what this means, but I need something in return." Olivia's voice was steady despite her racing heart. "I need your legal team to prepare me. I need to know every question they might ask, every angle they might use. I need to be ready for whatever's coming." "Done. Robert will coordinate with our attorneys starting tomorrow morning." Marcus extended his hand. "I promise you, Olivia, we will protect you as much as possible through this process." Olivia shook his hand, then looked at Robert. "When this is over, will I ever have my normal life back?" Robert's expression was sympathetic. "Honestly, probably not. But you'll have something better. The knowledge that you did the right thing when it mattered most." The next 3 days were a blur of preparation. Marcus's legal team descended on the estate. 4 attorneys, 2 paralegals, and a jury consultant who explained they needed to treat the deposition like a trial. Olivia sat through 8-hour sessions of mock questioning. The lead attorney, a sharp woman named Catherine Ross, played Castellano's lawyer with ruthless efficiency. "Miss Bennett, isn't it true that you were barely making ends meet as a waitress?" "Yes, but yes or no answers only." "You were struggling financially?" "Yes." "And then you met Marcus Blackwood, a billionaire, and suddenly all your problems disappeared. New home, new job, rent paid. Quite convenient, wouldn't you say?" Olivia's face flushed with anger, but Catherine held up a hand. "Stop. That's exactly the reaction they want. Stay calm, composed. Let's try again." They ran through scenarios dozens of times. What if they asked about her relationship with Marcus? What if they implied she was romantically involved with him? What if they suggested she was using David to get close to his father's money? By the 3rd day, Olivia was exhausted and doubting everything. She sat in the guest house that evening, staring at her notes when someone knocked. "Come in." Marcus entered, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Catherine said you've been working 12 hours straight. Thought you might need this. Thanks." Olivia took the cup gratefully. "Your lawyers are terrifying. They're good at their jobs." "Maybe too good." Marcus sat down across from her. "How are you holding up?" "Honestly, I'm scared. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I make it worse for David?" "You won't. You're telling the truth, Olivia." "That's all you need to do." Marcus set down his coffee. "I wanted to tell you something. After the deposition tomorrow, regardless of how it goes, I'm increasing your salary to $90,000 a year." Olivia's eyes widened. "What? Why?" "Because you're putting yourself through hell for my son. Because you could have walked away a dozen times and didn't. Because you deserve it." Marcus's voice was firm. "And before you argue, this isn't charity or guilt. It's recognition of what you're worth. I don't know what to say. Say you'll get some sleep tonight. Say you'll walk in there tomorrow with your head high and tell them exactly what you saw." Marcus stood. "Say you'll remember that you're not alone in this." After he left, Olivia tried to sleep but couldn't. At 2 a.m. she gave up and went for a walk around the grounds. She found herself at the pool, sitting on a lounge chair, staring at the water's reflection. "Miss Olivia?" She turned to see David standing in his pajamas clutching a stuffed elephant. Security guard stood apologetically behind him. "He insisted on finding you, ma'am." Olivia waved him off. "It's okay." She patted the chair next to her. "Can't sleep, buddy." David climbed up beside her. "I heard Dad talking to Robert. You have to talk to the bad men tomorrow. Not bad men, lawyers. They just ask questions about me. About what happened at the restaurant. About how brave you were. Olivia put an arm around him. You're not in trouble, David. Nobody's mad at you. Are you scared? Olivia considered lying, then decided David deserved honesty. A little bit. But I'm going to tell them the truth about what I saw, and the truth will help keep you safe with your dad. David was quiet for a moment, then hugged her tightly. You're the nicest person I ever met. I don't want you to leave. Olivia's throat tightened. I'm not going anywhere, kiddo. I promise. They sat together until David's eyes started drooping. Olivia carried him back to the main house, tucked him into bed, and returned to the guest house with renewed purpose. Tomorrow, she'd face Castellano's attorneys. Tomorrow, she'd tell her truth. The deposition took place in a Manhattan law office, all glass walls and expensive furniture designed to intimidate. Olivia walked in wearing a navy blazer Catherine had picked out, hair pulled back, minimal makeup. Professional, credible, sympathetic, Castellano's lead attorney was Gerald Frost, 60-something with silver hair and a smile that never reached his eyes. Miss Bennett, thank you for coming. This shouldn't take long. It took 6 hours. Frost started gently, her name, age, employment history. Then he shifted, tone sharpening. Miss Bennett, you were struggling financially before meeting Mr. Blackwood, correct? I was managing. You were 3 months behind on credit card payments. Your car needed repairs you couldn't afford. You were working double shifts just to make rent. He slid a document across the table. This is accurate, isn't it? Olivia's attorney objected, but Olivia answered calmly. Yes, that's accurate. Like millions of Americans, I was working hard to get by. And then you met Marcus Blackwood. And suddenly, miraculously, all those problems vanished. I helped protect his son from a kidnapping attempt. He offered me a job in gratitude. A job paying $70,000 to someone with no childcare experience, no relevant education, no background checks. Frost's eyes narrowed. That seems excessive for a nanny position, doesn't it? I don't know what the going rate is for protecting a child's life. The questions continued, relentless. Frost tried to paint her as opportunistic, desperate, willing to exaggerate danger for personal gain. He questioned her judgment, her motives, her character, but Olivia held firm. She described the men at the restaurant in detail, their movements, their threatening behavior. She explained her split-second decision, the water tray, the chaos she created. She talked about David's fear and Marcus's gratitude. When Frost tried to suggest she was romantically involved with Marcus, Olivia met his eyes directly. Mr. Blackwood is my employer. He's a father trying to protect his son. That's the entire relationship. After 6 grueling hours, it was over. Olivia walked out exhausted but intact. Catherine gave her a rare smile. You did beautifully. Frost couldn't break you. Marcus was waiting in the car, anxiety written across his face. How did it go? I told the truth. Now we wait and see if the truth is enough. The ride back was quiet. When they arrived, David ran out to meet them. Miss Olivia, I made you cookies. Well, Mrs. Henderson helped, but I did the chocolate chips. Olivia's exhaustion melted away. She knelt down and hugged him. That's the best news I've heard all day. That evening, after David was in bed, Marcus found Olivia on the guest house porch. The autumn air was cool and he'd brought a blanket. I got preliminary feedback from Catherine. She thinks your testimony was strong enough to counter Castellano's petition. He sat beside her, draping the blanket over her shoulders. You saved us again, Olivia. I just told the truth. You did more than that. You stood up to one of the most aggressive attorneys in New York and didn't back down. Marcus looked at her, something warm and intense in his eyes that made Olivia's breath catch. You're remarkable, you know that. Olivia felt her cheeks flush. I just did what needed to be done. Most people wouldn't have. Most people would have looked away at that restaurant or taken the money and run when things got complicated. But you stayed. You fought. For a child you barely knew, Marcus's voice softened. I don't know how to thank you properly. You already have. The job, the safety, helping my mom, that's not what I mean. Marcus hesitated, then reached over and gently took her hand. Olivia, these past few days, watching you with David, seeing your courage and kindness, you've reminded me what it means to actually be present, to care about something beyond the next business deal. Olivia's heart was racing. Marcus, I know this is complicated. I know I'm your employer and you're David's nanny, and there's a custody battle happening. But I'd be lying if I said I hadn't noticed how beautiful you look when you smile at my son. How your laugh makes this house feel like a home again. How every time you walk into a room I find myself." Before he could finish, Olivia's phone buzzed violently. They both jumped. She pulled it out, and her blood ran cold. A text from an unknown number with a photo attached. It was them on the porch, taken from somewhere in the dark grounds. The message below read, "Cozy, aren't you? Wait until the judge sees this. You just made our case for us. RF Richard Frost or Richard Castellano." Either way, the message was clear. They were being watched. And Olivia's growing feelings for Marcus had just become a weapon that could cost him his son. Marcus saw the message, and his face went pale. "We need to call Robert. Now." If you loved this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories, and comment below what you think happens next. Should Olivia and Marcus fight for their feelings despite the danger? Your support means everything. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. What would you do in Olivia's situation? Let me know in the comments.